Welcome to The Trute with Vernon. Thanks for your continued support. Please remember to subscribe to the The Trute channel and follow my blog, The Trute. Your support will help me to empower citizens to have a greater influence on how our country is run. Your comments aren't just put online, they are shared with key leaders. Remember, there's money power, and then there's people power. When the people unite, no other force can suppress the people's power. As elections approach, corruption is front and center. Today, I'll dive into that topic, but I urge you to push our political parties to clarify how they'll tackle Jamaica's ongoing crime challenge. Yes, corruption is a part of crime, but the current debate isn't about eradicating corruption. It's about who wants to control Parliament. I'll keep repeating this. Corruption does not involve politicians alone. It's become a political buzzword because it's a hot topic leading up to elections. But after the votes are counted, will things change? Not unless Jamaicans say, no sir, no sanky, no sing so. Take the education sector as an example. Jamaica has around, I think, about 1,000 primary and preparatory schools, and possibly about 180 high schools. How many of those have been audited within the past year? If you know, please let me know. Now, let's take a look at how the traditional media houses are handling this matter of corruption in Jamaica, and in particular, the recent hilarious presentation by Ret'd Justice Panton, Chairman of the Integrity Commission, and the questions asked by MP Everald Warmington. We must be careful how we handle these matters because people will say we are either not informed or we are also corrupt. Let's look at the Gleaner's editorial of October 20, 2024. Let's look at the first paragraph of this editorial. This is not what MP Warmington asked for, not audited financial statements, but the auditing of the Integrity Commission. And generally, we should be looking at the auditing of all government departments. Let's look at another paragraph in this editorial. The writer does not understand that the Auditor General's Department handles auditing for government departments. Government departments do not have the right to go out and select their own audit firms to audit their departments. The paragraph mentions an important point, that the Integrity Commission cannot be audited by the Auditor General because it would be a conflict of interest. This is exactly the reason for some of us saying that the Auditor General should not be a part of the Integrity Commission. Once again, I ask, who the Auditor General and her staff send their statutory reports to? To the Integrity Commission? In the next paragraph, you will see how the writer is detracted by MP Warmington's demeanor and therefore misses the relevant points. The comments that the editorial made about the behavior of MP Warmington may have been the dark shades which prevented the writer from seeing the points made by MP Warmington. Let's deal with the facts and come up with ideas to improve the system rather than wasting time discussing the personality of MP Warmington. MP Warmington did not elect himself. And if the people want that type of MP, then that is who they want. The next time the people might elect a convict or someone who is mentally unstable. That's democracy for you. And of course, the writer gets into speculations. The moment you see that word, maybe. Later on, there was an article that compounded the errors. And I really cannot afford to take up the time in this podcast to deal with that. Let's look at the comment made in the first paragraph of Leader's article headline, MP wants compliance audit of IC. That is false. The article states that MP Warmington calling for a full compliance value for money audit at the Integrity Commission for the first time. You might have heard the language for the first time, but that is what MP Warmington was calling for. This is different from presenting audited financial statements. Once again, the article mentions a statement made by the IC chairman about audited financial statements. This is not what MP Warmington is asking for the umpteenth time. He is asking for the IC to be audited. And again, the article mentioned about Mr. Warmington being absent from a meeting where the audited financial statements were presented. This gives the impression that because MP Warmington was absent, he was not aware of the presentation of the audited final financial statements. Let me repeat, some will say, let me repeat again. This is not what MP Warmington asked for. Before I leave you though, I interviewed MP Everald Warmington shortly after he asked for the auditing of the Integrity Commission. He can speak well for himself, but also I must tell you, we as a people must speak for ourselves. All government departments need to be audited, including the Auditor Generals and the Integrity Commission. Let's listen to MP Warmington.
Well, the issue is that when I call them, the issue that the Integrity Commission always trying to create a scene or draw attention to whatever you with some stupid statement and what a response once you say something. The issue I raised about the audit, they're supposed to, under the Financial Audit Act, they're supposed to be audit report table in Parliament. They're talking about their annual report with some figures as an appendix to the whole stuff. Okay, that's not what is required.
Oh, so
okay,
so what you're talking about now is just the former annual audit, external audit. We just look at the figures.
Some page and put some page with figures in their annual report. That is not what is required. All of the agents in the department are required to have an audit report table in Parliament.
Yes, yes.
Okay? The issue is they choose some who they want as auditor, select who they wanted the auditor to put some figures together. Audit report ought to include the performance audit, ought to include the audit of all the other years of activity within an entity.
Well, how does the Auditor General fit into that? The Auditor General sits as a commissioner, and she's also
I
the
don't
auditor.
think she has any credibility in any case. Let me make it clear. As far as I'm concerned, she has no credibility. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If it was some other agency, she'd be making some big stink about it in the house and publication and such to get attention. You okay?
So you're
She
saying
should not
no
have been. First and foremost,
yes.
she should not have been on it.
Oh,
Okay,
because
based on the
you're saying it's a
Constitution,
conflict of interest.
the Constitution prohibits the Auditor General to be serving on any other body because she's supposed to audit all of them.
Oh,
because she's there now,
yes.
they go get some external persons who say auditor to audit, but they're not doing it as it is required. No, they're not. So let's talk about I'm not reading or what they have there. That's not what's required in Parliament.
Good.
Put some
Help me
figures.
understand this, Mr. Warmington. My understanding, when you have an audit now from say the Auditor General, they look at your receipts, see how funds are spent, if
Every
you
damn
put.
thing.
Oh,
Okay. They
but
look
for
at
the external
everything.
auditor, you just present your final
The
accounts.
figures. Thank you.
I see.
Your accounts. But they have to look, as I said, performance audit or audit as such. It has to include the activity, all the activity of the entity.
Yes, yes.
Over the period. So put some figures together. That is not what is required in Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm getting at.
And you have to look at, for example, who did certain things and who was authorized to do certain things.
Right.
Yes.
What breach is going on at the same time? These guys, what they call professional auditors, come and said it. That cannot be to that. All they're concerned about is the figures.
So you're saying now that the Auditor General, being a member of the Commission, would probably be in a conflict of position in that she could not.
Of course, she couldn't. She cannot do it. And this is why we have to remove her from there. Based on the Constitution, she should not be there. And this is why we have to remove her from there. Okay, what they're saying, that is not what's required. They look at some figures. That's not what audit about.
Yes, yes.
The total operation.
Yeah, different audits. You have operational audits, yes.
It's supposed to complete. So, no, they give us some figures.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know if Hanky Panky went on during the year? They're looking at what was allocated to them and what they spent and what have you. How do we know what breaches went on? That's not within the purview of an outside auditor. No. They don't know so that's not their responsibility.
I see.
That's so they're not going to look at that at all.
They're just trying to see that whatever is on your financial statement is a good representation of your assets, your liabilities, your expenditure, and your income.
Right. Right. So they're not concerned about the other aspect.
Mm-hmm.
That's not within their purview. So when these guys come out and talk the damn nonsense, trying to blow smoke up the ass of Jamaicans to make them feel good, that's not it.
So you're saying the response of the chairman now is not responding directly to your concerns?
No, they just write some damn nonsense there. Where that is totally unrelated to the question that I've raised.
Okay.
Okay? Giving some figures I hear. That's not the audit that government requires. The issue is where the Auditor General doesn't perform that audit, the Minister of Finance does. Like the Auditor General's office. That audit is done by the Minister of Finance.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So in this case, the Minister of Finance ought to have stepped in and audit the Integrity Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So what is in a few figures? That is not what is required in Parliament. You need a complete audit. A complete stuff.
Right.
As required by the financial and auditor.
Thank you. Any final point you want to make before you leave me?
Come again?
You have any other final point? I'm going to leave you. Any other final point you want to make?
No, they need to get their act together. And Parliament needs to really write or put in place the guidance and the guideline that these guys are to follow. We're not coming in Parliament and being bombastic and rude, as Panton did. Yes. It was disrespectful. And as far as I'm concerned, Panton is a second-grade lawyer. So when it berates members of parliament, Panton ought to remember that he's a second grade lawyer. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Warmington. Have a good
Alrighty.
day. All the best.
Alrighty. Mm.
In closing, some will say that MP Warmington brought this up as a distraction from the work of the IC. He's a politician and he's defending his party. If the IC is not properly set up and does not function in a particular manner, then this will deflect from its work. Two things to bear in mind and to remember: corruption is not a parliamentary problem, it's a national problem. Using it as a political football will not make the system less corrupt. Corruption must be dealt with by all of us because it is a national problem. It did not start today, and it will not end tomorrow. We can only try to minimize it. Well, that's it. This has been the Trute News and Commentary with Vernon Darby. Remember to like and share this podcast, subscribe to my the Trute channel, and support my the Trute blog. Help to build the people's power. Vernon Darby saying to you, I love you all. Walk good, my friend.